Do even Remainers now believe in a no-deal Brexit? That's what I want to talk about in this video. I'm Mark, greetings from Germany and welcome to my channel. As you probably already know, the Brexit negotiations are completely on hold for now due to the corona crisis. The European Union and the UK want to discuss the roadmap for further negotiations on the post-Brexit partnership next week. To this end, EU Chief Negotiator Michel Barnier will speak with his British colleague Frost. That's at least what an EU spokesman announced. Britain left the EU at the end of January. A transition phase should apply until the end of the year. On the EU side, an extension is strongly believed to be necessary, but British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has refused so far. And that's one of the reasons why even many Remainers now do believe that he will exactly do that. And that would definitely mean a no-deal Brexit. One example for this is Liberal MP Wera Hobhouse, and she gave an interview about this to the German newspaper The Parlament for the German Bundestag this week. Wera Hobhouse, by the way, was born in Germany and she lived in the UK since 1990. She became a British citizen in 2007 and has been in the House of Commons for the Liberal Democrats since 2017. And there, most interestingly, this About Brexit opponent is a member of the Brexit Committee. Of course, the Brexit probably exacerbates the situation in the corona crisis. Asked about the lack of thousands of doctors and nurses who left and came back to Germany because of Brexit, she stated that the planned new immigration law will not solve that problem. So far, it has been stipulated that immigrants must have a job offer with an annual salary of at least £25,600. That means 30,100 euros. In her eyes, this threshold is far too high for the low-skilled. But the UK economy and especially the health system would still depend on them. So what can you do there? She believes that this once again shows how senseless it was to go through with Brexit, and especially put all the problems on immigrants, as many of the more populistic people did. In her eyes, it's unfortunate that no one is willing to have this discussion at the moment. Asked if the pandemic is causing a rethink about Brexit, because without the EU, Britain could have a much harder time coping with this crisis. As you probably have heard, the EU has set a €500 billion package to help companies, to help workers to get through this crisis. But Hobhouse believes that these are yesterday's debates. In her opinion, many people wanted Brexit as an alternative for the status quo. And the status quo is actually very bad for them, she says, because they live in poor apartments and are unemployed and don't have a lot of money to deal with. And from her perspective, the people really do want to do this now. And the December election would clearly have showed this to everyone. And she really believes that the propaganda that the EU is to blame for all of this has completely ingrained. And the fact that the, let's say, less educated classes were often, especially by Remainers, I must say, being accused of being too stupid to understand the consequences of Brexit has only led to a reaction of defiance among many. But that's a big reason why they're saying now, Brexit now more than ever. When asked if the government will request an extension of the Brexit transition period, because having any kind of deal until the end of December is now close to impossible, especially now with the corona crisis that put a lot on hold, even if they talk about a new schedule next week, she does not believe the UK will do that. She really believes Boris Johnson will stick to his word and not extend. And she very clearly said she wants EU politicians now to see clearly what's going on. The British government does want a no-deal Brexit. And her conclusion is that the hardliners in the Tory party have definitely won. They don't want any deal. They don't want any agreement. What they want is a no-deal Brexit, and that is what's going to happen now. And it is time for the EU to understand that, and all that's happening right there is in vain. Of course, the EU wants to prevent a hard Brexit. And when Hobhouse was asked if there would be a chance for a deal if the EU makes more concessions to the UK government, for example, softening EU standards like environment or customer protection, she clearly stated no. And the EU really should not make those compromises. And even Hobhouse believes that the UK must be treated as a third country. Otherwise, other member states would soon request similar discounts, and that harms the integrity of the whole EU. And asked about how popular is Brexit without access to the single market, and no access to the single market means a risk to a recession, especially as a result of the pandemic, her response was that the EU has also often felt that it is restricted. British companies rely on free trade and the greatest possible flexibility. There are fewer taxes and less regulation than in Germany, for example. And the country is very successful with it. That was before their membership in the EU, which is quite some time ago, you must not forget, and it was as a member in the EU. But that doesn't say anything about the future as a country standing on its own once again after decades. But in Hobhouse's point of view, the older generation in the UK still has the world power thinking, like we British are better. Britannia rule the world. I know you all know the song, Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves, and so on. That song is sung with great enthusiasm, and I do understand that. And that, and not only in her view, but I believe the same, is the reason why there is actually not a great fear of a no-deal Brexit. So you see, even many of the firmest former Remainers now do believe that the only possible outcome for the time after the 31st of December is a no-deal Brexit. And if you're interested in more information about Brexit and a German view on Brexit, I put you another one of my videos here in the end screen. Click and enjoy. I'll see you there. Viel Spaß!